Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another one. It is Brian S. Arnold here, and it's the Authority Project. And I'm here with my new good friend, Joe Pici. And he says that he's going to show you the 8 non-negotiables for business growth. Is that right, Joe?
You bet we are.
All right. Well, we shall see. We shall see in this amazing episode of the Authority Project.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, feast your eyes and tune your ears. It's that time again. We are live with another episode of The Authority Project. It's the video podcast streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope, where we talk to digital marketers, business coaches, and creators of all kinds on how they've built authority in their field and how you can mimic their success. Developing authority, building your audience, and attracting better clients to your own business. Now, without further ado, let's bring to the virtual stage your host, Brian S. Arnold.
All right, we are back with another one, folks. It is the Authority Project. I am Brian S. Arnold here, and I'm here with Joe Pici. He is here on the virtual stage. How are you doing today, Joe?
I'm great. Thanks for offering this time. I really want to bring some content to your audience.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm honored. I know it took a long time to get here, and we had a little miscommunication last week, but we're here on a Monday. We're doing it great here. So starting the week off fresh and new. So let's start off first of all with who Joe Pici is. Who are you, Joe? Who are you personally and then professionally?
Well, Joe Pici is just a guy that really everything I do specializes in helping our clients recapture lost revenue, get in front of their target market, really gain an unfair advantage over their competition. And we do that through speaking, coaching, training, consulting, but we really are application-based. And as we move on, you'll see that the way we help our clients is really to get boots on the ground, roll up our sleeves, and help them master strategies and skills for business growth.
Great stuff. Okay, so I got another customary question next on my guest here. It goes something like this. Joe, what is your daily routine?
Joe gets up at 3:30 every morning because I'm nuts.
Wow.
I drink lemon water. I get on a stationary bike and I get my mind right. Okay. By the time I get off that bike, I take my shower, drink a protein shake, and somewhere around 5:30, 5 o'clock, I actually start my day. And my day is, if I'm not speaking, coaching, training, or consulting, or doing a podcast, I'm selling, I'm generating leads, I'm booking appointments, I'm doing sales meetings. So we eat what we kill here at Pici and Pici.
Awesome. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into this title here, the 8 non-negotiables for business growth. I want you just to start wherever you are. I'm pretty sure you're a great presenter. I know you are. I know you've done this a 1,000 times. So let's start off with number one, and we'll just go from there.
Okay. Well, the first part of non-negotiables are what I call is creating your clarity. So if you're sitting there and you have a pen, don't do this if you're driving. We're looking at a bottom box, and clarity is a combination of 3 things. It's knowing what you want as an end result, a quantifiable number. Is it 250,000? Is it $500,000? What is it? It's knowing when you want to hit those metrics. And more important, it's knowing why. You see, every day you should ask yourself 5 questions. What do I want? When do I want it? Why do I want it? What am I willing to do? What am I not willing to do? That's the beginning of creating one of the 8 non-negotiables, creating that really fixated clarity. Now, above that, the next 2 areas that you have to bring to the table, whether you are an entrepreneur, a big business owner, whatever it is, you're a speaker, coach, trainer, you are insurance sales, whatever it is that takes growth, you have to bring 2 things to the table: ambition and self-discipline. Now, you can't manufacture that. You either have it and work on it, or you don't. Self-discipline and ambition. Now, self-discipline allows you to say yes to the right things and no to the wrong things. It allows you to time block and do all the things it takes. Ambition is what gets you up in the morning. You know, if you struggle to work hard, ambition may be the point. We have a foundation built now. I'm going to turn it back over to you. Maybe I created a question. I don't want to do all the talking, but that's our foundation: clarity and ambition and self-discipline.
My only question that comes up was like, this is something that, like you said, has to develop, because I think people think that you have to do this before you start your business. Are you saying do this to make your business grow, or do this from the get-go, that you should have this skill set already?
I think it's a process.
Okay.
I think that, but I will say this. The process of creating clarity can be taught. It can be drilled down. You can get better at it. But folks, if you struggle with being ambitious, if you struggle with self-discipline, that's going to be harder, because you either want to grow something or you don't. You know, business owners would rather work 80 hours a week than work 40 for someone else. Okay. And so I know I'm not just talking about business owners, but even people who work for someone else, but push the envelope, go the extra mile. So foundationally, what you want, when you want it, why you want it, you need to have at least an idea before you start a business. It doesn't have to be a final product, but you have to have an idea.
And don't you think that having more clarity helps that ambition? Because I think sometimes we're not as ambitious because we don't really know what we are trying to offer. That kind of thing.
You just said a mouthful, because part of the reason why people struggle with that ambition, self-discipline, is they really don't have that mindset of, where do I want to go? When I sit down with a coaching client, I want to know, how much money do you want to make? And they always kind of, what do you mean? That's not a hard question. How much money do you want to make? Because for us to build out your business model, for us to dictate the other non-negotiables, we have to know, what is the end in mind? When we have to have timelines and deadlines, and that needs to be worked on. And the other thing is your why. And I'm not talking about buying a house or a new car. Man, you can walk off at any lot with a car nowadays and not even have to put money down. I'm talking about, what is that fires your soul? What is it that you want to accomplish? But what is the reason behind it? Now, the self-discipline and ambition, you're right. Without the first part, you don't have the belief sometimes to have that ambition.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. That's making sure we got that clear. Got clarity on that. All right. So let's keep on going. Let's keep on going here.
So let's move up from there. Once you have that foundation, the next piece is what I call communications. We live in a time where texting and email and Instagram and the whole world of technology, that is not communication. That's announcement. Communication, and we subscribe, and we are master trainers of the model of human behavior called DISC. Whatever model you use is fine. 80% of communications is listening. And so the whole concept of all aspects of interpersonal relationships is so important. So what are we doing to become better communicators, better listeners? So that's the next factor. So now, quickly, in 2008, my wife and I were sitting at this big convention with all these famous speakers, coaches, and trainers. 2008, the world imploded. A lot of people lost their businesses in all industries, especially hit the industry of consulting, speaking, coaching, and training. And I was listening to these famous people walk around with their heads down. Some were going out of business. Some were partnering up. Some were sending their significant other to work, whatever. And I looked at my wife and I said, it's time to go home. She goes, why? We spent money to be here. I said, I don't want to listen to people whining and not living in the solution. So we're tripling our income this year. We're not Les Brown. We're not Tony Robbins. But what is it that we know? Why do we continue to grow through good and bad economies? I say that for this reason. We went home and whiteboarded our business. And what we realized, Brian, was this. There were 4 more things we were doing in the non-negotiables that absolutely continue to electrify the growth of our business. This is the top bar. There's going to be 4 of them. Number one is every single day we generate quality prospect leads. We have 20 ways we generate leads. 92% of our business is now coming from LinkedIn. My wife is ranked in the top 10 women to follow on LinkedIn. She's not a social media expert. She's created an outbound process whereby we generate quality leads. So we have lead generation every day. The second thing is every day I make X amount of outbound calls to book appointments, not to convince, not to sell, but to book quality appointments. And I never go below 150 a week. Now, understand something. I don't just sell, I also deliver. So I have to be really good with my time management. So every day, I make X amount of outbound calls. Number three is how many quote unquote core stories, which are your sales meetings. Our core story is a discovery meeting. And so how many of those are you doing a month? Your business is based on how many of those you do a month. And the fourth one is priority and time management. So now you have the top done where it's lead generation. It's outbound phone calls to book appointments. It's actually appointments to start the selling process and priority time management. Now, there gives you the model, Brian. So now I'll turn it back over to you because I know you must have a question or two.
I got a question about. I had no problem with what you said, actually, but I think that I'm just from the solopreneur's mindset might be thinking, how can I do this? How can I do what you're doing? Because it seems like a lot of it seems like you're doing yourself because I think you're leading by example. But do you have a team that helps you with this?
Okay, first of all, because of what I do, Brian, my wife and I decided when we opened up our business, we would never train anything we didn't do.
Yeah.
Because one of our uniquenesses, one of the things that we believe has created why I got ranked number one in the world by Global Gurus as a sales trainer, and our sales training program number one, is one of the things I do is I do live outbound telephone call training. So when people are saying, how do you do this? Right. Well, I don't only work 8 hours a day. Okay. We actually build our content on off hours. So there's certain things that have high priorities. And I have a podcast called Sales Edge. It's one word. And I actually go into a things to do list training, and that's free. You can get that. But so the whole thing has a lot to do with what is the most important things you can do. And so I'm very structured about highest revenue producing activities. So back to your question. No, we don't have a team that does a lot of stuff for us, okay? We have a website person, but basically we've created processes where we have a lot of technology that handles a lot of stuff for us.
Awesome. Now I want to make sure we get all 8 of these out in this podcast. So continue. Go ahead.
Well, the thing I think that's most important is whoever is listening, your audience, you have to look at where you are. You have to look at, if I'm responsible, who's responsible for getting clients? I talked about the 8 non-negotiables of business growth. Well, if you really focus on business growth, it's how many prospect leads am I getting? How many appointments am I booking? How many appointments am I doing? Because that's what grows your business. And many times entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, or whatever, they do so many of the other things, and then they decide, well, how am I going to get clients? One of the reasons why we grew during COVID is we stayed on those 8 things. We continue to do those 8 things, and we don't give away stuff free. We sell our value and our intellectual property. Okay. Back to you, Brian.
Yes. Okay. So here's what it is. And we talked about this earlier before the show. I asked you how long you've been doing this. So these factors affect some of the people where it would seem, Joe, that you love to sell. You love selling. It's something that you love to do. Is it possible for an entrepreneur maybe not to love how to sell and do it a different way? Whereas you're thinking, you still have to there's still some things that you still have to do, even if you don't love selling.
That's a great question. Number one, I think people get into this emotional thing about selling because they think it's about charisma and it's about talent and it's about, I either have it or I might have the it factor. And we don't believe that. We believe sales is a combination of processes, skills, messaging, and consistency. Anybody can learn that. And at the very end of the day, does everybody love everything about their business? Probably not.
Right.
But it is a necessary. This podcast was the 8 non-negotiables of business growth.
Mm-hmm.
What has weathered every storm for us is that we make sure that we're constantly in the business of acquiring clients. Because if you have a client out there, and so many people have that one client that generates more money than anybody else, what if you lost that client? What would happen? So I don't think you have to love everything, but I do believe that's why we call this non-negotiable. There are certain things that you have to get done. Somebody has to bring in the clients.
Yeah. So do you believe that just in this podcast here, do you believe that selling is a non-negotiable skill set kind of thing? Is so important that you need to learn at least some basics of selling?
Yes, I do. Even when I go into big companies, no matter what size, we work with small, medium, and large companies, Fortune 100 down to solopreneurs and individuals. And I always talk to people about, even if you have a sales team, you better have mastery over sales in case somebody quits, whatever. Everybody needs to know the messaging. And here's the thing about sales. Your first point of contact with a new client is in either your salesperson or yourself making contact. People spend so much money on branding and culture and everything, and they can destroy all of it with one bad sentence.
So tell me in your experience of the clients that you've worked with, what stops them from going forward and growing their business? I mean, you show them some things, you give them some trainings.
Because I'm in so many companies, there's some factors. Number one, a lot of times people will open a business or have a business. They spend a lot of money on their website. They spend a lot of money on their marketing. Marketing costs you money. Sales makes you money. But they spend a lot of money on all the periphery things. And then when it comes down to bringing in clients, they've run out of money or they don't have the ability to sell. Now they're in trouble. I haven't met too many companies that go out of business when they're bringing in more money than is going out. Yeah. So what happens is more money is going out than coming in, and eventually things have to change. They have to lay people off. They have to do things they don't want to do. In our business of speaking, training, and coaching, we work with people that already know how to speak. They already know how to coach. What they struggle with, how do they create the consistency of client acquisition, no matter if it's a good economy or bad? And how many different ways can they deliver their message?
So I think hitting on this one pillar about they have to get out there and get their clients. They have to go out there and get the leads. They have to learn how to sell. Selling is a big thing. I kind of equate it to like if you're dealing with being overweight, people will say, you have to lose more calories than you take in, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing with your business. And for some reason, it doesn't equate. Like you have to bring in more money than the expenses that you have, and then you really have a business. So,
well, again, the fastest way to fix any business is cash flow. Okay. And a client, and here's the thing, and I have to say this too. I have trained every conceivable type of human being in the world, every ethnic background, every age group. I've had people 75 years old. I've had people 17. But the common denominator, it still comes down to communications, messagings, skills, and processes. In our boot camps, we'll always get about 74% conversion to appointment. We'll get through 88% of the gatekeepers. We get 56 to 80 phone calls returned that same day. These numbers never lie because there's a consistency in processes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question here. Let me know. Let me see if you'll answer this. I don't know. Do you have any secrets that you want to share? As I think we're focusing now on selling or approaching people or what have you, so that, or like your messaging, whatever you think that is the. Is there any secret sauce you want to share, or
Yeah,
that
I
you think
do.
are
I
the
will.
best?
Most people don't want to sell because they feel like they're going to be rejected.
Yeah.
Well, the rejection comes when you make it personal. So we teach people what's called a value proposition. So, Brian, let's say I was calling you up and you were a speaker, trainer, and coach.
Okay.
And I call you up. Who am I speaking to today?
This is Brian. How can I help you?
Brian, we connected on LinkedIn. Is this a good time?
Sure. Absolutely.
Brian, I see you're a speaker, coach, and consultant, and I specialize in helping speakers, coaches, and trainers turn their talent and intellectual property into money.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Brian, would it be
Yeah.
worth 15 minutes for me to show you how we can monetize your talent? Now
I might be
say
interested. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, say
Yeah.
no, say no.
No. I'm
Now,
in the time. I'm in the time right now.
was I rejected? No, you just didn't want to make money.
Yeah.
But from
Yeah.
there, that either takes me to a meeting or not. I
Okay.
think we make things too personal instead of
Mhm.
professional.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't overcome objections. I don't convince people. I don't talk people into it. Here's the golden nugget. The phone call is really lead generation. It's not to book an appointment and it's not to sell. It's to find out if they qualify to have a meeting with you.
Mhm. Okay. I like that. I like that. I have.
Hey, before we wrap it up, I know we're getting
Yeah.
late here. Can I have
Yeah.
a giveaway? Can I give people a
Sure.
giveaway?
Sure.
All
Absolutely.
right. This is free. So take out your phone and go to your text box, everybody, and type the word sales edge into your text box. Got to be one word. Some phone break it up. And then you're going to text it to 55678. That's going to take you to a Peachy and Peachy link. That'll take you to a splash page. Now, here's a bunch of free stuff. There's a free e-course on recapture lost revenue through virtual selling. There's ebooks, there's links to our podcast, Sales Edge, and there's a link to our second business called sellmorevirtually.com. Every Thursday night, I'm out there live doing a group coaching or training. There's videos, there's e-courses, there's a mega e-course coming down in 1 week on the complete sales cycle. So take advantage of that. A lot of free stuff. And let's go back to Brian.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. Thanks so much for that. I appreciate it. No, I can just tell the value that's going to be given from that link. So I appreciate that so much. Okay, so let's see how we can wrap this up. Let's see how we can wrap this up here.
We are right on time, right?
Yeah, we are. We are right on time. So I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you like one last objection. One last objection.
Sure.
And I think people feel that there's more than one way to, how do you say, to one way to do it. Do
Sure.
you believe in that? Or do
Well,
you
it's
think
not
there would
whether I believe in it. It's
Okay.
that numbers never lie.
Okay.
So therefore, you can either be reactive, where you wait on referrals, you wait on inbound stuff, which is fine, or you can be proactive, where I generate the lead and then I start the process.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not saying I'm against referrals, but I can't make the money I'm making just on referrals.
Gotcha.
I can't weather a bad economy if all my business comes from referrals or inbound. So I'm saying when you talk about non-negotiables, is my way the only way? No, it's a way to take your business outbound and be more control of your income. Okay, so when I say non-negotiables, I'm talking about according to me. All right, there's a whole lot smarter people than me out there, and some of them have figured out ways of getting business without doing a whole lot of anything. I haven't. All I know is this. We have grown year after year after year, good economy, bad economy, because we are proactive. And I can't live on hoping something comes in. I want to be in control of numbers And so that's just from a perspective of
Yeah.
Joe.
Right.
We don't have all the answers. There's like I said, we have the answers that work for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I want to add to that though. Do you think that that's where people should start though? They should have that skill set somewhere.
Well, let's put it this way. Most businesses, when they're starting or making a shift, they don't have a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, we first started, when we opened up the doors to Pici and Pici, we didn't have websites, we didn't have anything. But that year we made $250,000. Okay? Net. Because we knew how to generate a lead, we knew how to make a phone call, we knew how to do a meeting, we knew how to deliver what the client could measure. And now we got the PowerPoints and this and a webcam. We got it all. But you know what? We never went into debt. So if you don't want to go into debt and you want to cash flow your business, or you want to take your business to another level, consider mastering sales.
I love it. I love it. Got one last question for you, my friend. One last question. I ask if all of my guests go something like this. The people who are watching right now will be listening to you later, and they want to do the same things that you're doing, maybe have the same journeys as you have, and maybe the same aspirations, and they want to sell like Joe Pici. They want to sell like Pici and Pici does. All right. They want to do what you're doing. Can you tell them, and I'll put you front and center in your own words, how they can become an authority in this space? Yeah.
First of all, I'm offering you a complimentary cup of Joe. Call me at 407-947-2590. I promise you, I'm not going to use any hard sales tactics, but maybe I could give you a couple tips. Okay. But you have to absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, be willing to invest some time, maybe a little bit of money in yourself, mastering those skills and strategies.
Awesome. Awesome. Well put, well said. I'm so excited to have you on here.
Thank you.
That was amazing. We could have actually gone on for another hour.
Well,
I'm sure.
I promised you I would be right on time, and we're right on time.
Exactly. So people, can you tell people, just get a hold of this guy, where everything that he has, I'm sure is going to be so much value for you. Can you tell them any more places that they can go after the show?
Well, LinkedIn, Joe Pici LinkedIn. I look exactly how I look right here. I'm always dressed in black. You can go to our Pici and Pici, PICIANDPICI.com website. Okay. Our other website is sellmorevirtually.com. But more than anything, don't be afraid to just pick up the phone and call me. I don't bite. I don't use hard sales techniques. I'll give you some tips on maybe some things you could do to get started.
Great stuff. Great stuff, people. Unbelievable. And we are about wrapped up. I have nothing else. This has been great. The 8 non-negotiables for business growth. Get a hold of this guy. It's been a long time coming. It's been, I don't know how many months it's been to get you on here, but I'm so excited that you were able to come here.
Thank you.
You were available for this. So that is all. As you already know, people, as I already say, remember, build it, share it, and they will come. We'll see you next time. We're out of here.
Thanks a lot.
And that's a wrap for this episode of The Authority Project. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you like what you heard, we want to hear from you. Subscribe, rate, and give an honest review. Share and tell your friends so they can hear too. And for even more authority-building tactics, be sure to sign up at theauthorityletter.com. Get free weekly content and ongoing digital product giveaways to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. We certainly hope you got a key takeaway, or maybe an aha moment from today's broadcast. Just remember, it's your authority. Build it, share it, and they will come. Until next time.